Hello, and welcome to the Cozy Girls Club. This is the coziest podcast on the internet. I am your host, Michaela, and this is just a podcast where us cozy girls get together and we have a good cozy time. We shift our mindsets. We talk about slow living. We talk about all things cozy. And I'm so happy that this is happening and that you're listening and that you're here. I wanted to talk about some highlights, talk about a little bit of my life, talk about, let you guys in a little bit. Okay. So for 1008, which is my video editing company, I have been onboarding more clients. I have been having such a good time. I'm so blessed by the clients that I currently have. I am so happy about that because it's the end of March. When I'm recording this, my workload is kind of going down some, which is really nice, right in time for my trip. I am going to Baltimore. And my mom lives in Baltimore. And I know people are like, what the heck? That's not a glamorous vacation. However, every time I go to Baltimore, I just feel a little bit more peace coming home. It's so weird. My mom has an oasis of a backyard, and my favorite coffee shop is there. I have a lot of memories of just living there. I'm taking the train for the very first time, which totally gonna romanticize that, even though my mom is it is not the most glamorous train you've ever seen, so don't think about that. But I was you know what? I'm gonna think it is. I'm gonna have a good old time on that train. By the time this comes out, I'm already back and home. This has already passed, so I hope that I had a good time. But just being able to spend time with my mom and family up there is always just a really good and refreshing time for me. I always feel like I come back just a better person. I don't know. Just spending time with your mom is so amazing. I love my mom so much, and I hope she watches this so she sees that I love her so much. Okay, so if you're on Spotify or YouTube, come to the computer, come to your phone, come to whatever you're listening on and look at the screen because I am showing you the designs for my merch. I'm so excited. There are crew necks, there is a crop tee, and there is an iced coffee cup, and I am so very excited about it. I still don't have launch date to tell you yet, but these are the designs. I wanted to be able to leak them, I guess, to show you guys what they would look like. We're gonna be cozy. The crew neck says forever in my cozy era, and the crop tee says Cozy Girls Club, so it just is the Cozy Girls Club tee. I wanted merch that was going to be something that was mine and represent me, but I also wanted it to be something that you could wear with your everyday outfit. This is something that you choose to put on. It's not just something that's oh, I'm gonna wear this to bed, or oh, I'm just supporting Michaela, but it's actually something that you go into your closet and you want to wear it. I definitely will be sharing the launch date and everything as soon as it comes out, but just stay tuned, keep post notifications on, all the things, so that way you know when it comes out. And then last but not least, before I get into the meat of this podcast episode, I do have a book club on Fable. I just think that it's a cool thing to have and another cozy thing that we can do together. It's called Books and Blankets. It will be in the description of this podcast episode. Right now, I think we have the Darling Girl going on, and it'll probably be going on through April as well because I have not picked up that book since I read the first chapter. So we're going to try again next month. I was about to say next year. Okay, so let's get into the meat of this episode. Okay, so I want to do this kind of seasonally, quarterly, if you will, where if you see me doing this in blank interseason here, just know I'm in my cozy era. And I think that it's going to be so fun because we can talk about the things that we can do to stay cozy in warmer seasons. Because if you are like me and love the fall, I'm a fall baby through and through. I love all things basic fall. I was born in the fall. I love the fall. So when warmer seasons come and people start wearing pastel colors and the sun is brighter and it's just a little bit more colorful outside, sometimes we lose the coziness factor and we forget that we can be cozy in these seasons. So I want to talk about it all year long, and today we're starting with spring, but I want to tell you a little bit about how I feel with spring and how I'm going into this spring with a different mindset. So when I was little, I had seasonal allergies, bad, like asthma, itchy eyes, runny nose. I literally felt like I had a cold for 3 months straight. It was literally horrible. Literally could not see. My eyes were crusted over. I know this is so gross. My nose was constantly running, not being able to breathe. Like I couldn't walk a mile without having to sit down and like catch my breath. Like it was so bad. So bad that one time I woke up in the middle of the night. I could not go back to sleep. Like I literally was sleeping, woke up with an asthma attack. Thankfully, my grandma lived like 20 minutes away. So me and my mom drove over to her house in the middle of the night because she said that she had an inhaler. I took that and was able to like go back to sleep. But if it were not for her living so close and her having the inhaler there, I would have probably had to be rushed to the hospital because it was literally that bad. Every spring, I just was like, I hate the spring. I can't stand the spring. But I've also realized as I've gotten older, my allergies have gone down. I don't have as itchy eyes. There are sometimes, like if it's really bad, sometimes even the smell of pollen just kind of triggers something in my brain. But I'm okay. Like I can breathe in the spring. I can see in the spring. My nose isn't constantly running in the spring. And it's just such a good testimony of how good God is going into this spring, because I still kind of had that little like lingering feeling like, oh, this is going to be a horrible spring. I can't wait for like the summer to come so I can breathe and do all that stuff. This spring, I'm so excited because I'm going to be doing all the cozy things. Everything that people do in the spring, everything that the girlies do in the spring, I want to do, and they're going to be cozy. So here's some ways that we can romanticize our spring, be in our cozy era in the spring, and just be girls. Like, let's just be cozy girls, okay? So this spring, I will be browsing bookstores, trying to find different bookshops to go to, and just having a good old time. But I probably will not be getting that many books. Why? I have a billion books on my bookshelf right now that still have yet to be read. And I have a bunch of things downloaded on my Kindle that, again, have yet to be read. But after the bookstore, I'll have my Kindle in my bag like I usually do, and I will bring a blanket and I will go lay down in a park somewhere and just read my book. I think that's going to be so fun. That's so cozy, especially if you can find like a good shady spot when it's like maybe 70 degrees or like just too hot to be like directly in the sun. That's going to be so nice. I also will be transitioning to iced coffee drinks only. Iced coffee hits different all year round. All year. I love iced coffee. I will drink it in the winter when it's cold outside. But when it's warm outside and you just have like an iced lavender latte, an iced, I don't know any other flavors. That's usually what I get in the spring and the summer, is a nice iced lavender latte. And you're just sitting outside on your balcony or your patio or just in the grass or on your driveway or, I don't know, in your office with the windows open, whatever it is, just drinking that iced coffee, that iced tea, that iced matcha, whatever you drink. And I know not everybody's a coffee drinker. Speaking of, if you like matcha, let me know if you've ever had like strawberry matcha or lavender matcha, because I literally just had those recently within the last like year. I did not realize I would always get like vanilla in my matcha. And then somebody was like, you should try lavender in there. So I was like, you're right, I should. So I did. And let me tell you, it's so good. So if you like lavender and you like matcha and you have not tried it, try it. But if you have, let me know how you liked it down in the comments. Another thing to be cozy that I will be doing this spring that you could also do is declutter. However, decluttering for me looks like just moving things around and buying more things to just kind of revamp my decor, revamp my space. I definitely do not like having unnecessary extra things. I feel like I'm in between a minimalist and just like a person with a regular amount of things. I don't like having things that I don't use. The other day, I went through all of my nail polishes, all of my nail supplies and everything, and I separated from what I will use and what I don't use, because what's the point of it just getting messed up in my closet when somebody else could be using it to its full potential. But the thing is I really get rid of things all year round. When I don't have a need for it anymore, I really will just kind of get rid of it on the spot. So when it comes time to spring cleaning, I kind of just get new things and deep clean my house like I do every once in a while. Now, one thing about me is I like to be a layered queen. And that's one thing that I love about the fall is the layers. However, we all know that the spring doesn't necessarily mean 65, 70-degree weather every single day. It means fluctuating that wardrobe. Fluctuating that wardrobe, which means when I decide that I'm going to wear a t-shirt and some sandals, I will be having a jacket and some socks on hand. It's just like the fall. When we transition into the fall weather, everybody's like, oh, the leggings, the Ugg boots, the cozy socks, the flannels, knowing it's still 70 degrees outside. I am one of those people because when they start putting the fall stuff out in July, I'm the first one to buy it. Why? Because if you wait until it's actually fall, all the good stuff is gone. So don't come for me when I start fall shopping in July. Now, I literally just got a new notebook. It's right here, actually. It says Buzzworthy, and it is yellow and springy. I crave new notebooks in the spring. I do not know why. I feel like it's more of the like journaler in me that wants to journal more, even though I know I will have pages and pages and pages that are not filled. But that notebook right there, I am challenging myself to finish every single line. Like if I have to start writing on the back of the cover to make sure that I finish what I ever have to say in that book, I will. But every line will be filled, every page, front and back. I just remembered the Friends episode. If you watched Friends where Ross was like reading the letter that Rachel wrote him and he was like front and back. It was so funny. I will also be going on picnics, even though I feel very awkward doing them. I don't know why, like being by myself with a blanket, I just feel like people are staring at me. But the other day, me and my husband were walking in the park and somebody was playing one of those, what are they called? Like the things that go, I don't know what it's called. I forgot. He was playing one of those and nobody was paying him any mind. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. Because if that guy can play that instrument in the middle of the park, I can put my blanket down and read a book. It's not that big of a deal. Have a little snacky snack, a little drinky drink, and we'll be good. We'll be good to go. So you guys are going to join me in all of these. I want you to tag me in the things that you do in the spring and the things that make you feel cozy in the spring on Instagram, TikTok, even I think you can tag on YouTube. So do that as well. And I want to see them all and I want to share them all as well. So if you tag me, I will share them on the next episode. But on Threads, I asked what you guys were looking forward to the most about spring and I wanted to read them to you. So you guys said that you were looking forward to book releases and a birthday. I think the birthday was May 2nd. So happy birthday to the one who put that. I wrote all the notes in my phone. So I should have written like the handles down too. But if you hear yours, just let me know. So book releases, I really wish that I was more in tune with the book releases because I listen to podcasts about books and they talk about it and like they talk about the authors, like people talk about directors, and I just am not plugged in that much. I'm like, if I want to see it, I'll watch it. If I want to read it, I'll read it. But I don't like deep dive, and I wish that I did that a little bit more. I'm glad there are good book releases coming though for the people that read. Someone said warm weather, not hot, but warm. I think at this point we can all agree that the extremes of hot and the extremes of cold, both of them are just horrible. Like, let's stay in the fall and the spring. If I could have those two all year round, I'd be good. But the extreme cold and the extreme hot is just not it for me. The only time that I like extreme hot is if I know I'm getting in some type of water. If I'm going swimming, if I'm sweating for no reason just by sitting outside, that's absolute no for me. Another thing that somebody was looking forward to was creating content outside. Funny story. I was trying to create content the other day outside and felt extremely awkward. Anytime you've seen me record something outside, just know that there's probably a bunch of people outside and I was really forcing myself to do it. I am still not to the level of where I'm like holding my phone up like this or my camera out like that. When I was in New York and I did my New York vlog, that was the best day of my content life because I felt like nobody cared. Nobody was looking at me. There were other people with cameras out and doing things content related. And so I just did not need to feel weird. I don't need to feel weird now, but I do. Someone said exercising outside. This has been something that I've been enjoying doing actually. It's been kind of cold in the mornings, like 40s, 50s, but because I'm like working out, I think that I don't mind because I'm getting warm and the cool air is just kind of helping balance my body temperature out. So I completely agree that more outside working out time would be fun. Someone else said coffee shops, and this is something that I do literally all year round, but I feel like coffee shops hit different when you can actually sit outside or just like walk around, like get some coffee, and then if it's like nice scenery or whatever, like walk around. That's really fun. Someone else said farmers markets. This is something that I actually want to get more into. I go to farmers markets a lot in the summertime, but not really in the spring. So I think that that would be kind of cool. I want to look up some farmers markets and some like events and things happening in my area for the springtime. So that way I can actually like plan to go and do those things. Someone else said exploring new parks with the dog. My dog will want to be outside for a little bit, and then when it gets too hot, she's like, bring me back in. She's a Siberian Husky, so it makes sense. The winter is when she thrives. That's when she is the most active, I feel like. And lastly, someone else said warm weather and people watching, and I can tell that that person is my kind of person because I love to people watch. I think that people are so interesting, and it's so crazy how you can live in the same area as somebody or go to a new area and see someone and like just think about like they had a whole life. Like they have a whole life and I don't even know anything about them. Like this person is just walking down the street and they have a family, they have a history. Like it's so wild. There's so many people. And then you just like think about it even now, like me sitting here recording this on the East Coast of the United States. There's somebody like in Italy right now, just like sitting somewhere, doing something, living their life. And I have no idea that they exist. It's so crazy to me. There's so many lives, so many things on this planet, so many interesting things to think about, and it's just crazy. But anyways, let me not go on that tangent right now. So it seems like we are going to have a really good spring. We're going to be cozy in the spring. So if you see us doing this in the spring and you see us with our new coffee cups from Cozy Girls Club and our cropped Cozy Girls Club tees and our pull over crew necks, just know we're just living our cozy era. We're just living our cozy little lives over here. Anyways, y'all, thank you guys so much for being a part of this podcast and making it a really good experience for me. I want to continue this Cozy Girl Diaries series, so let me know what you guys want to hear on the podcast. What do you want to talk about? And we'll talk about it. But with all of that being said, don't forget to like, share, comment, rate, subscribe, do all the things, push all the buttons, turn on the bell, all the things. That way you are notified whenever I post, and you also are helping this podcast reach more cozy friends, and we can have a good cozy club growing over here. There's also a Ko-fi page below where you can buy me a coffee, and all of those go straight into this podcast and this channel, and I'm so thankful for everybody who chooses to support in that way. But with all of that being said, don't forget to stay cozy, and I will see you next week. Bye everybody.